The Brooklyn Center Police Station continues to be a gathering place during the trial of former Brooklyn Center police officer Kimberly Potter, who shot a man named Dante Wright during a traffic stop in April. Earlier this week, people from the Second Chance Project turned on Christmas lights and unveiled a mural, all to promote peace in an area that became the focal point for protests this spring. A proposed curfew ordinance in Brooklyn Center failed during a city council vote earlier this week. The measure would have enacted an emergency curfew after a verdict in the Potter trial. It would have also given the city manager the authority to extend the curfew. The vote was 3-2 in favor, but the measure required a unanimous vote. Brooklyn Center Mayor Mike Elliott was among the two who voted against the measure.
I think that is incredibly important to think about. The fact that it's either an elected body or an elected leader that calls a curfew, imposes a curfew on a population.
A curfew could still be declared by the mayor or with a unanimous vote by the council. Another issue that took center stage this week for the Brooklyn Center City Council is talk about the 2022 budget and the cost of police reform. The city is considering reallocating $1.2 million from unfilled police officer positions and move that money to police reform initiatives. Critics say that move would essentially defund the police, while proponents say it's a step toward reform. A final vote is expected on December 6th. The Osseo City Council took another look at their city budget this week before it comes up for final approval on December 13th. The expenditures go up around $235,000, or an 8% increase. Most of that increase comes from a 3% cost of living increase for full-time and part-time hourly employees. There are additional expenses like increased technology costs and the cost of a midterm election. There's also an increase of revenue coming into the city from increased community center rentals and more people participating in youth programming. Filing is now open for a Brooklyn Park special election to fill the vacancy in the East District seat. The seat was vacated when Lisa Jacobson won the special election for mayor. Since there's more than a year left on her term, the city will hold a special election on February 8th to fill that vacancy. The City Council voted to waive a primary. The last day for filing is December 14th. There's a group of advocates in Golden Valley who do a lot of boots-on-the-ground work for affordable housing. The group is 4 years old and they have several successes under their belt. I sat down with the chair of the Golden Valley Housing Coalition, Ruth Paradise, for this Newsmakers report.
The Golden Valley Housing Coalition is a group of volunteers who have gotten together because they're very interested in the issue of affordable housing and tenant protections.
All right. And
that is our goal.
And it's a good example of how advocacy does work. What have you guys accomplished?
Yes, advocacy does work. We have worked with the city and other groups in the city to have 4 ordinances passed. We've done away with some code that punished a landlord for having the police ever called on tenants, and then the tenant could end up being evicted because of that call. We have worked on proposing landlord training that is focused on tenant-landlord responsibilities and relationships. We advocate for more affordable housing, and we try to do education for tenants. We have done door knocking and gone out. With the eviction, we went out did door knocking, just handing out what resources are available to tenants. Right now we're working to help people who get eviction summons, and we're going and personally visiting them to give them information on where they can get help, where they can get free legal aid, rental assistance.
Mm-hmm. So. And you really are a research-based organization, right? You could do a lot of research for the city. Can you tell us about that? We do.
And until recently, the city didn't have one person that was named in charge of housing, though of course they did have people working on it. And so anytime we come with an advocacy issue, we do a lot of research in order to know what other cities have done, what ordinances exist, why people are in favor of it, why people are not in favor of it, so that when we come to the city council, we can give them information and advocate for it in such a way that it gives them a good picture of what it would be.
And this is really a boots on the ground, a lot of volunteer work, a lot of hours.
Yes.
Why do you enjoy it?
I enjoy it. First of all, of course, I enjoy working with the other people on the team. I enjoy working with the city staff. Golden Valley has great city staff, and they're good to work with, and we enjoy just because we're helping people and working with the community to try to educate the community on that.
Well, Ruth Paradise, Chair of the Golden Valley Housing Coalition, thank you for being here today and telling us about it.
You're so welcome.
As we enter the season of giving, a local organization asks that you consider picking up a holiday gift for a senior. The West Metro Fire Station in New Hope is one of the places taking part in Home Instead's Be a Santa to a Senior program. It runs through December 10th. You can find ideas on what to buy at the fire station as well as at select Lunds and Byerly stores. Holiday shoppers can choose an ornament hanging on the tree, buy the requested gifts, and return them to the fire station in a gift bag with the ornament attached. Home Instead will then distribute the gifts.
The seniors who are isolated truly appreciate what they get. It's unbelievable to see the joy in their face, even if it's for a few minutes.
Our 2021 CCX Sports All-Area Defense starts on the line with Maple Grove's number 45, Mason South. Picked to this weekend's high school all-star game, South finished the season with 22 tackles for loss, 11 sacks, and 84 total tackles. He was named All-State. Providence Academy defensive tackle number 28, Jacob Meisner, was a disruptive force for the 8-1 Lions. He led the team with 25 tackles for loss, including 11 sacks. Second-team All-Metro pick Meisner also rushed for 1,064 yards on offense. Hopkins defensive lineman number 8, Bryce Buckingham, was a load to handle for opponents. The senior led the Royals in tackles for loss and sacks. The All-District pick has several scholarship offers for college football. Park Center's number 5, Ishmael Conte, was an All-District player for the Pirates this fall. Oh, and a tackle. The senior linebacker recorded 75 tackles, including 6 for loss, and was selected to play in the Minnesota Showcase game this weekend. Benilde St. Margaret's number 10, Ryan Seaver, was a tackling machine for the Red Knights this fall, finishing with 116 tackles in just 10 games. Seaver has drawn interest from several Missouri Valley Conference schools. Maple Grove's number 7, Sawyer Skanson, was another key cog for a stifling Crimson defense.
Skanson is coming, and Skanson will get there for the sack.
Skanson led the state runner-up Crimson in tackles with 118, including 12 for loss, and was an all-district selection.
Middle, and it's picked off by Skanson.
Skanson's teammate number 21, Jace Uzel, made big plays for Maple Grove from his outside linebacker position.
But Maple Grove gets the open field tackle.
Uzel finished second on the team in tackles for loss with 14, including 3 sacks. He also forced 3 fumbles. Wayzata linebacker number 51, Chase Ullum, led the Trojans in tackles this year with 91, 54 of them solos. Ullum also recorded 4 sacks and 1 interception for the 8-3 Trojans. Osseo outside linebacker number 8, Owen Dukowicz, was an all-district player for the Orioles in 2021. The senior was named the Orioles team MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Our defensive backfield includes Cooper's number 3, Dante Williams.
And it's intercepted.
The senior picked off 6 passes this season, returning 1 of them for a touchdown. An impact player on both sides of the ball, Williams also caught 31 passes for the Hawks.
Dante Williams in for the touchdown.
Champlin Park's number 29, Darius Gibbons, was a 3-year starter who played multiple positions, including linebacker and safety.
Another sack for the Rebels.
Gibbons led the Rebels in solo tackles and was the team MVP. He'll play next year at North Dakota State. Wayzata's number 25, Drew Streeter, was a sure tackler for the Trojans. The senior finished the season with 83 tackles, 64 of them solos, plus 3 tackles for loss and a sack. Armstrong's number 4, Jordan McClone, was a 2-year all-district player for the Falcons.
Oh, and tipped and intercepted.
McClone picked off 4 passes this year and always seemed to be around the ball. The senior is second-team All-Metro and is headed to Northern Iowa for college. Breck's number 2, Charlie Reichs, led the Mustangs to a Class 3A state tournament berth this fall. Bryce finished the year with 123 tackles, 13 for loss, 4 turnovers, and scored 3 defensive touchdowns. Brooklyn Center's number 24, Romero Socorro, led the Centaurs in tackles with 87. The senior forced 4 fumbles, picked off 3 passes, and scored 2 defensive touchdowns for the Centaurs. He's a 3-time All-District player.
And there's Socorro coming up with a strong tackle.
Maple Grove Junior number 12, Jacob Anderson, became one of the Crimson's top players by season's end.
Picked off on the sideline.
Anderson recorded 84 tackles and 2 interceptions for a first-team defense that allowed fewer than 10 points per game.
It's a touchdown from Maple Grove.
And there it is, our 2021 CCX Sports All-Area Football Defense. These guys, too, enjoyed great seasons. Here are the honorable mention picks for defense.